I am going to work very hard. I'll go 6 or 7 days a week when we're 60 days out, and I will be campaigning for all of these great people that do have a difficult race.
President Trump recently told the Wall Street Journal, quote, "As long as I can get out and campaign, I think Republicans are going to win. It's a lot of work for me. I have to make 50 stops. It's a lot. So there aren't a lot of people that can do that physically. Fortunately, I have no problem with that." And when asked if his appearances mobilized Democratic voters, the president said this: "I think the Democrats give up when I turn out. If you want to know the truth, I don't think it energizes them. I think it de-energizes them." Joining us now from Washington, Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, one of the Democrats in that race. The most recent polling has you up, Senator, by 17 points going into this fall's election. What's your sense of the energy of Democrats in your state, a state that went by a narrow margin for President Trump in 2016?
You know, I have a sense that there's a lot of energy, and it's not just partisan energy. The turnout for our primaries earlier this week was record-setting in terms of pure numbers, and the highest percentage of turnout for a primary since 2002. So the energy is there, and it's very exciting to see. I think for the last year and a half, I have seen people get involved in our democracy in numbers that I haven't seen in my whole life, frankly. Usually around issues, because right now I think there's this sense that Washington is a mess. There's too many distractions. They want somebody working for them, which is what I've always done. But focusing on the issues that they worry about every day, or their aspirations, not the special interests who call the shots around Washington too much.
Senator Gene Robinson has a question for you.
Yeah, Senator, so does what you just said, does that mean that for you the key this year is energizing and bringing out the Democratic base, as opposed to trying to appeal to, say, some voters who might usually vote Democratic but went for Trump last time?
You know, I think it's all of the above. So let me, there was a clip about the president saying he's going to visit all the states. Well, the president has visited Wisconsin since his election. The first time he came, he signed his Buy America order right in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Well, I've been fighting for Buy America policies since I first was elected to the House of Representatives. And because I know it's good for Wisconsin workers, and that when we use taxpayer dollars, we ought to be supporting American workers and using American inputs for our infrastructure and manufacturing. And so the Trump voter who was taken by his focus and rhetoric during the campaign for working people, I think they understand that I've been working for the hardworking Wisconsinites forever. And so I don't think you can just separate it into the Democrats and Republicans, or Trump or not, that we're going to attract folks who are looking at who is fighting for them. And one of the big stories coming out of Wisconsin, I think, as you know, was record spending in this Senate race. I've had $11 million aimed at me from out-of-state billionaires, from corporate special interests. Why? Because I stand up to them, and I'm fighting for Wisconsin. That's going to be the clear choice, because I think Leah Vukmir, my opponent, they figure she's going to be in their pocket.
Senator, it's Casey Hunt. It's nice to see you this morning. I want to ask you about one issue that has bubbled up in some other state races. Notably, Senator Bill Nelson said that there was evidence of Russian meddling already in the Florida Senate election. I'm wondering if you have been made aware of any attempts at outside influence in the state of Wisconsin. Have you spoken with your Secretary of State about those security concerns? Where does it stand?
Okay, so there was clear evidence after the 2016 election of both an attempt to hack into the election apparatus in our state. It didn't work, but they were rattling the doorknobs and trying to get in. And also a lot of evidence after the fact, sadly, of social media interference and misinformation and targeting certain voting groups in Wisconsin. because the administration hasn't taken the steps that they need to make it absolutely clear that this will not be tolerated, because the Congress hasn't yet passed the Deter Act, I have no reason to believe that Russia is not going to be trying to interfere. Now, whether that's on social media or trying again to interfere with our election apparatus, I don't know. But
are you confident that your election results are going to be clear and unimpeachable?
So, first of all, I've supported getting extra resources to our election commission to beef up their security, but we do have a predominantly paper ballot system, so we can recount by hand. I'm probably most concerned about all the reports of the bots, if you will, and the false information. And boy, we've seen not only in our own country, but other countries, that a foreign adversary, Russia, has sown the seeds of division. This is very harmful in a democracy, and we've got to safeguard our democracy and stand up for the truth, which is also why it's so important to protect the Mueller investigation from interference and to protect a free press.
Senator, there's a new poll out that says President Trump's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh has the lowest public support since Robert Bork was rejected back in 1987. A CNN poll found 40% say the Senate should not vote to confirm Kavanaugh. 37% say he should be confirmed. 22% had no opinion. The poll says Kavanaugh is doing poorly among women. Only 28% support his confirmation. 46% are against it. And to look at Kavanaugh's position in context, he's performing 10 to 20 points worse than some of the recently confirmed justices. On the high end of the spectrum, 59% supported John Roberts in 2005. On the low end, Sonia Sotomayor had 47% support during her confirmation process. You've come out, Senator, and said you will not support the nomination of Judge Kavanaugh. Shouldn't you wait to get all the documents in front of you? Shouldn't you wait to get through the hearings before you declare that you won't support his nomination? Because that kind of thing, and it's not just you, by the way, looks pretty nakedly political to a lot of people.
You know, Wisconsinites want a fair, independent, impartial justice. And Wisconsinites also realize that the cases that are going to come before the court after the next Supreme Court justice is confirmed is going to take a lot of issues that they are very concerned about up. So whether people are going to have health care coverage if they have a pre-existing condition or a loved one with a pre-existing condition. Women's health is in the crosshairs. We have issues of whether we're going to be able to protect clean water and clean air, and whether the next Supreme Court justice is going to be in the pocket of corporate special interests or fighting for consumers and workers. Right. And so I think Wisconsinites look at this record, the record that has been publicly disclosed already. There's lots of documents, I assure you, and say, this is not the fair, impartial jurist that we want.
But do you think he deserves a chance to answer your questions before you've made up your mind about him?
Well, I certainly intend to meet with him. There's a lot that I want to go over. Certainly there will be hearings. But, you know, I also have to question the process of who funded the organization that put together a list for President Trump to pick from. This was not an exhaustive search, and Wisconsinites want impartiality.
Senator Tammy Baldwin, Democrat of Wisconsin, thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Still ahead, former intelligence officials accuse the president of trying to stifle free speech with the decision to strip the security clearance of John Brennan. Now, the Navy commander who oversaw the bin Laden raid is telling the president to revoke his clearance as well. We'll talk about that. Plus, Ari Melber joins us with a preview of his exclusive interview tonight with Steve Bannon. Ari will be here in just a moment. Morning Joe's coming right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.